Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. Since there are a lot of new folks here, I want to go ahead and reintroduce myself. My name is Tessa, this is Nutmeg, and Nutmeg has a sister here, Luna, and we also have a dog named Astra that we got a few months ago. If you have seen some of my older videos, there was another older cat that was here, Magic. He did pass away over the summer, but he'll be here in my older videos forever, and I'm really grateful that I have that footage of him. But this is my plant room. I recently switched up the angle and I'm liking it so far. We're figuring some things out, but on some of my recent videos, a lot of you asked for a plant tour, or a few specifically of my two Milsbo cabinets that are behind me. So I figured we'd go ahead and we'd kind of do a little series of doing some plant tours. I have done tours of both of these cabinets before, actually. They're much older videos, but I think the Milsbo wide, that's my Hoya cabinet, I did 10 months ago, so quite a while ago. And then I did this one probably like 6 or 7 months ago. So yeah, it's been a long time. When I did this one, I don't think I had any sort of crazy plant collection up top of the cabinet, so that's all new as well. So we're gonna start and do individual videos for those, and then I am working on the other side of my plant room where most of my videos are filmed, and it's gonna look really cool when it's done, but I figured I'll wait to do a full plant tour of the room when it's done. I might show you all some progress along the way, but I'm gonna put in some shelves, a neon sign, some artwork, and of course plants. But we're gonna go ahead and start with the Milsbo tall behind me, and I'll just show you the plants that I have in there right now. Things are constantly changing, and I am more often than not, having plants that are outgrowing my cabinets. So they're not as full as they used to be, but that just means that I can get more baby plants, right? So we'll just look at it, see what's all in there right now, and go from there. All right, so we will go ahead and get this opened up in here. Don't think I have anything blooming currently. I do have a Hoya elsewhere that's blooming, but nothing in here. The top cabinet is the one that is, or the top shelf is the one that is a little bit sparse right now. I have, excuse you, Nutmeg, I have a few plants that are, you know, alocasias. I'll just say it that way. Alocasias that have just gone back to kind of being a rhizome. This one, the rhizome, is literally as tall as the cup. As I knock over this Hoya No ID, I've got more alocasias up there. I've got one in the back there. So that's just kind of how that is. I have this little Thai constellation that I bought as a baby, and it is super slow growing. So yeah, there's that. And there's Thai cons for you. I have a nice little Hoya Sarawak with a fungus gnat flying behind it, but that's fine. This one is also kind of slow growing, but it's really pretty, so I don't mind. And this is a bunch of Hoya viola cuttings that I potted up together because my mother plant didn't look the best. So I wanted to have sort of some insurance. And this is a really fun one. This is my Hoya fungi. I recently chopped it up, took a couple of cuttings, and then on the right is a cutting that I put back in the pot, and it's turned out to be really splashy. So very happy about that one. Moving on down here, this is where the plants are a little bit more filled in. So I'll start over here. This is my Hoya lacanosa Royal Flush. Not to be confused with the snow caps, which I do also have. It has this peduncle that's gonna bloom. The great thing about the lacanosa types is that they're always blooming constantly. There's another peduncle over here that's not active right now, but that's okay, because like I said, always blooming. And then underneath it, this is a Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. Got some pretty good splash on it. And the runner has kind of gone up and over. It is finally putting out a leaf up here, so I'll be able to cut that soon, but it kind of got smushed in here and I can't get it out. So that's just how it's growing now. This over here next to it is one of my absolute favorite Hoyas. This is the Hoya Nicotine. It is a super slow grower, but I don't mind because it's just always healthy, always happy, and it's got little bits of splash, so that one's a really nice one to have. Next to it over here, this is one of my 2 carnivorous plants. This is my ping, and as you can see, it catches all of the fungus gnats, which is why I don't really mind when I see a couple of fungus gnats here and there. And it actually has a second little plant in there. It's like hiding under one of the leaves, kind of in there. So that one's really fun. I've really come to love carnivorous plants, and I'm hoping to get some more soon, but this one might be my favorite. It's just so cute. And this is my Hoya Bella outer variegated. I'm really loving this plant, despite the fact that it is a thin-leafed Hoya. I don't normally go for the ones with thin leaves because they're so thirsty, but this one's been pretty forgiving. It does get wrinkled up when it's thirsty, and I just give it a good long drink. Next to it here, I just replaced the plant that I sold that was here, and I moved this plant here instead. This is a Hoya Matilde Splash, just like a regular Matilde, but very splashy. And I have a bunch of these. I just couldn't bring it in my heart to give that one up, so that's why I've got it there. And next to it, this one is a really fun Hoya for me. This is the Hoya Cutis Porcellana. I don't know why, it just got a funny name, so that's why I like it. And it is due for a repot. It's in this tiny little pot, and it grows runners like crazy, and I just kind of been looping them around. Here's one of the runners. Just loop them around and tie them up to this stake. So yeah, that one's kind of funky. Next to it, this is one of my newer Hoyas. Somewhat newer, I guess. This is the Hoya Sigillatus round form. I didn't think I liked Sigillatus until I saw this one, and the new leaves, they kind of come in this like reddish color, and then they fade out to green as they harden off, but it's been growing really well so far. Really liking the splash, really liking the round leaves. No complaints about it there. Next to it over here is my little Jose Bueno from my friend Carson. This was a plant that was on my wish list for years, honestly, and it just wasn't affordable. And he was so kind to send it to me as a little bit of a gift. We do kind of random trades back and forth, or we'll just send each other plants when we see something the other one likes. And he just sent me this one, and this was the first leaf it put out, which is a half moon. And I'm over the moon about this plant. It's honestly amazing, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. I don't know if you saw, but it's got new root right there, so must be very happy in here too. Next to it here, this is one of my Hawaii plants that I bought when I was over there for my honeymoon. This is a type of tropical ginger called Campharia elegans. I think the nickname they call it is Shazam. This was from a bloom, but it's done blooming now, so just toss that. But this, I really love the striking foliage. I am thinking it might go dormant soon, but that's okay. Kind of know what to expect with that one. So I'm gonna move it out of the way, and then we'll go look at the next plant. Back here is also a new Hoya. This is the Rigidifolia, new to me anyway, and it's got some splash on the leaves. I'm really liking the unique leaf shape, the veining, the splash. So that's kind of why I got it. It looks like it needs a drink. Yeah, it's a little thirsty, so I'll go ahead and water it after this, but that's a fun Hoya for me. And this is the Hoya Wyetii Lori Lynn. Just means that it has the outer variegation as opposed to the other variegated Wyetii that has the inner variegation. The new leaves come in like this, super pink. It'll also sun stress to pink, the variegation, but I'm okay with it either way, honestly. I really like the outer variegation on Hoyas as opposed, or any plant really, as opposed to the inner variegation. So this one is a really nice leaf. I'm actually really liking that one. But yeah, just a really nice little Hoya. So that is going to be it for this shelf. Guess I should add the other plant back to it over here. And then we will go down to the bottom shelf, the third and final shelf. So this is my Hoya lacanosa snow caps right here. It is considerably bigger, if I don't knock over all my plants. It's considerably bigger than the other one. It grows like an absolute weed, and it does bloom pretty often. It's not blooming right now, and it's not as splashy as the Royal Flush, but I do really like it. And this one is actually my husband's plant. This is his Philodendron Ring of Fire. I got it as a little TC baby back when $100 was a good deal on this plant. And it had pretty high variation, but that kind of went away. And it's not been super high since, except for this leaf. So I don't really know what's going on, but he loves it. So I just let him enjoy his plant, even though I water it and take care of it for him. But also, this is my other carnivorous plant. It looks like the reservoir is empty, so I need to go ahead and water it. This is my sundew, the Drosera Hercules. It just finished up blooming, which is why the blooms kind of look dead there. But it was really fun to see the nice little purple blooms. And this one also catches all of the fungus gnats for me, so just a nice plant to have around. Next to it, this is a plant that I've had for about 6 months now, and it is finally just starting to grow. This is my Hoya Weimannii Borneo, and I'm really loving the fuzziness of the leaves as well as the emergent purple color. I think that's absolutely gorgeous. And even though it's a slow grower, it is just nice to have around. For the rest of these, I might have to like get some plants out to show you guys. I don't know, we'll just see how this goes. Up top here, this is my Glacier Pothos. I did recently just move a couple of pothos in here, and they've been growing pretty well. This one's got some nice new growth here. Some pretty good variation. Verdict is still out whether or not this is a thing. Whether or not Glacier is a thing. I haven't decided if it's really that different from some of my other pothos varieties, but that's why I'm growing it out to see. Behind it here, now I'm gonna have to move some plants. Okay, so we will go up front here. This is my Monstera Stanleyana albo that has gotten absolutely out of control. Okay, so now we can more clearly see some of the plants. This is my regular Hoya Mathilde. This is the first Mathilde that I bought, and it did not do very well at first. It kind of reverted back to one leaf of the cutting and almost died, but then it just suddenly decided that it loved life, and it's been growing ever since for a few years now. I want to say like 3 years. So pretty happy. And behind it here, this is my Philodendron Kirkbride. It's supposed to be like a Micans, but it gets bigger more quickly. I don't know, it hasn't really done that for me so far, but it's here. Next to it, this is one of my 2 Global Green Pothos. This one I've kept separate because I got it back when they were expensive, and then Casa Farms came out with it, so I have one from Casa Farms as well. So that's why that one's in here. Next to it, I have this Scindapsus Platinum, and this one actually grows really nice. Big, healthy leaves. It has gotten a bit bigger than the pole, so I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with it next, but it's trying to attach to the glass. This was a variegated spiral ginger above it here, and this one has reverted. Luckily, I do have another one that is not in the cabinet, but I'm keeping this one around just because they sort of propagate themselves from the base, and the base was variegated, so I'm just letting it do its thing and seeing if it will grow better anytime soon. Back here is my Philodendron White Wizard getting a little bit too much sun, little sunburnt over here, but it has some really nice variation historically, so I'm hoping I can kind of turn things around with it. Otherwise, I'm gonna take it out of the cabinet because I think this light might be a bit too strong. And this plant that has been getting in the way is my Philodendron Paraiso Verde. It grows so fast. Honestly, this plant is a weed. It came to me as a super baby cutting from my friend Carson as well, and it just won't stop growing. It was like this tall when I got it maybe, and now it is completely root bound in this cup. So this is like the 3rd time in 6 months I'm gonna have to repot it, but it's fine. Can't complain at a plant that's growing super fast and sizing up really nicely. So that's my Paraiso Verde. Go ahead, get it out of the way there, and we'll go to the very back. This is my Anthurium pulcachense. This is the only Anthurium that I have in here, and it's also my only Anthurium that refuses to grow at all. I've had it for a 1.5 years now, and it's tried to grow a couple times from this stump, but not much of anything has really happened. And way, way, way in the back is my Philodendron Gigas. It has good days, it has bad days, but it grows better than a melanochrysum, so that's kind of why I keep it around. I really like the velvety leaves, but melanos are just terrible. And this plant you would have seen if you watched my Texas Aroid Show video. This is my Scindapsus mayari, and I'm in love with it. It's done in quarantine now, and it's just gonna go ahead and live its best life in here until it's ready for a pole. I'm gonna get it up on one of these moss poles as soon as humanly possible because it deserves the best, and I really want these big leaves from it, so that would be really cool to see. Last but not least is my absolute favorite plant of all time. If you follow this channel, you know I'm obsessed with this plant, even though nobody else is. And this would be my Philodendron Micans Velvet Halo. So it's known for having the white margins and the slightly different leaf shape, kind of like how Philodendron Rio sometimes can get kind of slender like that. Just lost an older leaf, but that's okay. It's pretty healthy for the most part. There's a little bit of an issue on these top leaves up here. I think it's from the light because I don't see any spider mites. I've checked it a million times and there's just nothing outwardly wrong with it. So I think it's just getting too close to the grow light. It's getting tangled up. So I'm also thinking this is another one that's going to graduate out of the cabinet soon. I do have two plants in here. There's like a smaller plant down here and then the one that's just been climbing up top. So we'll see what I can do about it. I really want to get bigger leaves on this plant as well, but I know it's gonna take some time on this one. But that's gonna be it for the last shelf. I'm gonna go ahead and put the plants back that were in here before, and we'll see you after that. All right, that is it for our first plant tour in this little series that I'll be doing. This was, again, my Milsbo tall cabinet, my first Milsbo, and it's a little emptier than it normally is, but I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the plants that I don't really show off that often on the channel. Some of them for reasons of the fact that they're alocasias and they hate life, and others just because I have so many plants that I forget about them sometimes. But it's nice to kind of give them their spotlight every once in a while and kind of remind myself why I love having these plant cabinets so much. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give Nutmeg and I a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything from us here on the channel. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one.